Good morning, it's Brian with Reclaimed Republic. I'm here in the warehouse this morning, picking orders that need to get shipped out today. So I'm going to be picking orders that sold yesterday afternoon and then last night and early this morning. Sales have been pretty good, so continuing from last week, it's really good to see that trend continuing. As I'm grabbing things from different racks here, share a little bit of information about the orders, the items, where they came from, what I paid, how much they sold for, etc. And then just talk through a couple other things that I've been paying a lot of attention to as the year is starting to wind down, is where I'm spending my money, investing my capital in reselling, and what I plan on doing a little bit differently going forward, and some other little tactics that I've been using that every reseller should be doing, and I've just been a little bit lackadaisical on some of them, but ramping that stuff back up. So let's get into it. All right, the first item up is going to be, I cheated a little bit on this one, I already pulled it off of a rack because I had it in a box, is this Looney Tunes Tasmanian Devil cookie jar. So this guy is pretty cool. His head comes off. Really cool piece. Probably not going to be fun to pack. Out of everything that I have to pack today, it's going to be my least favorite. Went by a random yard sale when I was out camping with my youngest son, and pulled in. They were just setting stuff up. I saw that guy sitting on a trailer, flatbed trailer. He was $3, and so I picked it up for $3 and sold it. I've been trying to sell it. I've had it for $30 for quite a while. I've gotten no bites at all. So I keep sending offers out on it, and finally sent a pretty hefty offer out there was 2 interested people, and sold it for $17.93 plus shipping. So they're paying as much shipping as they are for the item plus taxes. So it's going to end up costing them close to $40 for that cookie jar. So they really wanted it. The next item that we're going to have here is an Olight flashlight. So it's going to be down here in one of the small bins. It's going to be this guy right here. This did not technically cost me anything. So I am a little bit of a flashlight nerd, and whenever they have sales, they throw in free gifts. If you spend $100 or whatever it is on stuff from their website, they throw in free gifts. So this was free in a box. Sold this for $12 plus shipping. I've had this one listed for a while. And that's one of the things I want to talk about today. So one thing that I've not been paying attention to enough is going back through and reviewing my old items and looking at delisting them and then going back to sell similar. So the last couple of days I've went in, I think I've delisted and then sold similar on the same item on probably about 30 items. And you'll see some sales coming through today for that stuff that just I sold, relisted in the last couple of days. So I'm going back through, maybe moving my pictures around, picking a better picture to put up front. And then I'm looking at the market price. What are those items actually selling for? And then marking them appropriately. This one I happen to have offers turned on. Most of my stuff I don't today, but I had offers turned on, and somebody sent me an offer for $12 plus shipping, and I took it. Again, it was free, and I just get to get it out of the store, put some cash in my pocket, and buy more inventory. This next item is a vintage Rolodex. I don't think anybody uses these anymore. Well, some people do because they're buying them, but this is the second one I've sold. I picked this up at a thrift store out in in Iowa or Kansas somewhere. On my way back from Iowa this past summer, my wife and I went into this thrift store in a really small town. They had 2 of these for sale for $1 each. I looked them up on eBay, and they were selling for about $15, $20 at the time. And I did sell one for full price. Almost, I had them at $19.89 almost immediately. But this other one's been sitting. So a couple days ago, delisted, sold similar. I marked it down to $12.89 plus shipping, because that's what they were selling for now. And somebody sent me an offer for $7 plus shipping, and I took it. Again, I paid $1. Still, after fees and everything, shipping's covered. I'm going to 5x my money, put money back in my pocket, go buy more inventory, and make more money. This next item, let's see, this is over here in the board games. So, not the Clue game. I was looking up Clue games, and seemed like there was a lot more money selling the parts than selling the actual game itself. So I kept everything in the box because I have it all the parts listed. But I sold this as a bundle deal. I sold the little score pads, all the cards. It's a full set of cards. It's got all the where'd they do it, who did it, with what weapon, and then the case file envelopes. So I sold all of that. I took a offer on those for $7.99 plus shipping. I bought the whole game. I have the board listed separate, and I have the pieces and the dice listed separate. I bought the whole thing for $2.25. So I'm going to make my money back just on those items right there, selling them for $8 plus shipping. I'll probably be, again, about $5 in the profit there just on those items. Next item we have is going to be, this is the brass and copper rose. There we go. Oh, and that one's there too. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out. That one's on the list too. So pick this up at it's a brass and copper MCM rose wall hanging decor. It's got a little hook, little eyelet right there where you can hang it. I picked this up at a garage sale for $3 and sold it for $14.89 plus shipping. Whenever I comped this at the garage sale, I saw there was a bunch of them for sale. I've had it for about 45 days. There was a bunch for sale, and I thought as long as I price it right, take good pictures, mine'll cycle through and it'll sell, and it did. So nothing special going on there. Just, again, making sure you're paying attention to your pricing. You don't want to be super, super cheap. You don't want to price it so high thinking, oh, the cheap ones will go away and then my high one will sell. It doesn't always work that way. So I just made sure to price it at the market price. Next item. This is a good one. These are really hard to find around me, but whenever I do, I buy them, is Electrolux canister vacuums. Not the really, really old antique ones that have a lot of chrome and look very old with the fabric, coated hoses and stuff, or wrapped hoses. I get the more like 80s, 90s, early 2000s models. So I found a guy in North Oklahoma City. He had the complete vacuum, all the accessories and everything for $80. And I think I ended up talking him down to, I think I bought it for 80. He wanted 100. I got it down to $80. Which sounds a little high for a used vacuum, but I hadn't even put these anywhere yet because I just took pictures of them 2 days ago. They sold yesterday. So I paid $80 for the whole thing. The power nozzle, this right here, sold for $99.89 plus shipping. And then the floor brush attachment sold for $19.89 plus shipping. Same buyer bought both pieces. Which happens sometimes with these type of vacuums because they're looking for multiple pieces to replace things they bought or broke or lost, and they'll do that. So if you sell the whole vacuum together as one thing, you'll sell it for around $250. Parting it out, it's about $350 to $400, depending on how you have your stuff priced and what you have to sell. I think I've got this one at about $410 or something, all parted out. And typically, whenever I take one of these apart and sell it in parts, I'll sell it within 45 days. So they sell pretty well. Electrolux is a great brand. A lot of people know their appliances, but not necessarily the vacuums. But these canister vacuums, I think, sell for like $900 brand new. So when a part breaks, you'll go to eBay and buy the part, especially for the older vacuums. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at... And those were both sold via promoted listings. So I had those promoted at 2% each. There was pretty decent competition on the item listings. So I wanted to make sure mine were up near the top. You couple the promoted listings in with my top seller status. I ship fast. I don't have high return rate at all. And I don't say, I lost my item or anything like that. So I've got everything in stock and I ship it. So all that stuff tied together and good pictures are important. So making sure you're getting several pictures of, I know of the power nozzle, the bigger piece, I probably had, I don't know, a dozen pictures. It takes, an extra 30 seconds to take some more detailed pictures and show people really what they're getting. When they're spending $100 on something like that, I think it's worth it. So the next item was also sold via a promoted listing, and it looks like I sent an offer on it too, because I had it listed at $19.89 and I sold it for $15.91 plus shipping. I didn't have offers turned on, so I definitely sent an offer. That's going to be a Pampered Chef rectangle baking stone. Let me grab that right over here. The Pampered Chef section. So this is it right here. Nothing fancy. This is Pampered Chef. I think it's the Family Heritage Stoneware Collection. It's, it's used, definitely pre-loved. But picked this up at a garage sale about 3 weeks ago for $2 and sold it for $15.91 plus shipping. So that's a pretty good turnaround. I picked up two pieces. This is the second piece. The first one sold last week, so paid $2 for it too. So if you don't, it's easy to skip over Pampered Chef stuff whenever you're walking through kitchens, because a lot of times in estate sales, this was a garage sale, but a lot of times I find it in estate sales, there's so much stuff in the kitchen and it's all piled up, and people will like put stuff inside of dishes and stack things around it, and they're all beige, so they're kind of hard to or easy to miss. So you really got to pay attention to those. So I always try to look out for beige, or if a lot of people will leave them in their boxes and store them in the boxes, so the real thin big boxes that they'll be in a cupboard or something like that. So that's how I keep my eye out for that stuff. So gonna send that one out. The next item is a Pampered Chef piece as well, not sold via promoted listing, they just found it, and I found this one at an estate sale. Found this bunt pan dish. There's a couple of marks just from storing it, but it's not been used. It still has the original brochure inside of it. I sold this one, I believe, as new open box or new other. I didn't sell it as used, but sold it for $19.89 plus shipping. I paid $3.50 for this one whenever I picked it up. I got it in a estate sale on the third day of the sale when everything was 75% off. I think originally it was 14 bucks is what I had marked on it. And then the last item. So this is a pretty cool little Hallmark. It's a 1987 train ornament. The wheels spin, the bell. Well, the clapper is not very loud, but there's a clapper in there for it. But it's a really cool train. Picked it up. I picked up a bunch of these at a garage sale for about $2 a piece, a little less, maybe $1.75 a piece. And that one didn't have a box. All the rest of them had boxes. But still, sold that one via promoted listing. Would have promoted that at 2%. and sold it for $7.89 plus shipping. So they paid another $5 for shipping on top of their $7.89. So one thing I think is really important, I started off saying, is making sure you're paying attention to your listings. Go back through, delist, sell similar, spruce up your listings, especially when it's, it's the end of the year. I know it's really busy for a lot of us resellers, but just pay attention to your inventory. I would suggest trying promoted listings. There was a time when I didn't do it, and I kept hearing people talk about it and the difference it made in their sales. And I didn't really believe it until I started seeing the amount of promoted listing sales that make up the sales that I get each week. So it's usually about 20%, if not more. And those items will probably sell eventually anyhow, but the name of the game is taking your cash and turning it into more products to turn into more cash. 2% less, that's like somebody's, you had an item for sale for $10 and somebody goes, would you take, 2% off? Well, of course you would. So why not just do it up front and get it out of the way and get your item sold? So I hope you enjoy content like this. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. If you found this content valuable at all, consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day.